AskReddit by Ziggy28. What video game is an absolute 100/100 in your opinion? FF7 Original. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a magical experience. Command & Amp, Conquer, Red Alert. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Used to play it back in elementary school. Still play it to this day using OpenRCT. And it was coded in assembly. Still blows my mind. Super Mario World. The perfect Mario game and amp. Gave me many hours of joy to this day. I used to draw the star map in math class to flirt with the girl in front of me. It didn't work. Red Dead Redemption. I prefer RDR2 to RDR1, but they are both good. StarCraft Brood War. To me it still has the coolest intro cinematic of any game ever. The music, the characters, the dread you feel. I enjoyed the plot of StarCraft 2 enough, but StarCraft 1 was truly a golden era for Blizzard in storytelling. Super Mario Bros. 3. Kerbal and Subnautica, both fantastic games. The reason KSP is perfect is because it is a true engineer's game. It's man vs physics, you set wacky objectives, and watch yourself fail over and over again. And then one day you look up and you've got an airplane on lathe. Cause you wanted to. Because you don't have the money to bring a hang glider to Titan. The Sims 2. Sims 2 is perfection. I've been running the same family for 6 generations, playing every sim in each generation. I do one sim day before moving on to the next sim household, so I can keep everyone aging at the same pace. I'm over 300 sims from birth to death at this point. Edit, so many comments and upvotes. Thanks. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy to think of all the sims I've raised. The Bovary family lives on. I was reading Madame Bovary when I started the family. Left 4 Dead 2. I never played the first one, but the amount of details in it is crazy. The best thing about 2 is that it comes with the first game included, as well as the updated variant zombies to make the original more fleshed out. Terraria. Terraria is truly something special. I'm so glad they won the Labor of Love award, they deserved it. Old school RuneScape is a solid 99/99 for me. 92/99 users love OSRS, a solid 50%. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time has to be it for me. Going back after completing it just to watch the sunrise at Lake Hylia was just so special. Everything about the game was a masterpiece. Honorable mentions go to Half-Life 2, Stardew Valley and Portal 2. All are definitely up there. Deleted. Factorio. It was a stayed up all night without realizing it kind of game. Let me just optimize this one input. Is that sunrise? BioShock. From the beginning in the ocean and going down to Rapture. A failed libertarian society full of mutants and little sisters to save. I wish I could experience it for the first time again. My only complaint about BioShock is that I wish there was more of it. Portal. People, university projects don't matter. Also people, Portal is a masterpiece. Fun fact, I like telling people, developers at Valve were touring my college. We have game dev programs and have to make a game in a team every year, and noticed a game team making a game called Narbacula Drop with portals and crazy portal based puzzles. They hired those developers and they went on to work on Portal. Probably Rimworld. Just because you can do everything and everything can happens. I love so much this game. I love that the game is completely ruthless. In a recent save I had 2 colonists scraping an existence in the tundra. Had finally stockpiled enough food for the long cold winter when an electrical short burnt down my fridge and destroyed nearly all of my food. We limped along for a bit, killing whatever unfortunate creatures wandered into the map, but it came down to only dangerous predators and I had to take the gamble. My best hunter shot and wounded a warg, but it charged and downed him before he could kill it. My other colonist was nearby and tried to finish the job, but the warg charged him down, too. The warg then collapsed from blood loss, and the three of them lay near one another, slowly exsanguinating, until everyone was dead. Baldur's Gate 2. I cannot be caged. I cannot be controlled. Understand this as you die, ever pathetic, ever fools. Age of Empires 2, especially in its current state. They've done a remarkable job with the new updates. The graphics look great, the gameplay is as good as ever, and the entire game feels incredibly balanced. The fact that so many people still love and play this 20-plus-year-old game is remarkable in itself. I've played countless hours of AoE 2, but I can't stop myself from playing the same strategy every time. Essentially I'm just super defensive, harry their workers and distract their armies a bit, but mostly spend 90% of the time building defenses. Only after I'm surrounded by walls and towers with a strong garrison do I start the conveyor belt of sending army after the toughest enemy. Quake II Arena. So many people today don't know how important this engine was to gaming. So many of the franchises popular today used at least some of Quake II's engine, even on consoles and everything. Every game felt like a reskin Q3 from like 2000 to 2010. Factorio. The only reason that this isn't at the top of the list is that all the Factorio players are actually playing the game. Also, the only game I've ever seen where people will non-ironically refer to themselves as a noob with only a couple hundred hours of play. The skill ceiling is incredibly high. Edit. This was literally the next post on Reddit. https://www.reddit.com/r/factorio/I_never_realized_I_drill_straight closed bracket a discussion about mining efficiency for a save game with over 7,000 hours. On that single save. Players with that much time in the game are still learning. Edit 2. I'm concerned about the number of people who found that post useful. I'm hardly one to talk, but seriously go check and see if you still have family and if they know that you are still alive. Chrono Trigger. I still find myself listening to the soundtrack every now and then, 10 years after finishing it. And X200B. Edit. It's very nice to see how beloved this soundtrack still is. This, FF6 and AMP7 and Golden Sun are all still wonderful to listen to. Fallout New Vegas. BIEIEIEIEIGAIEIEIEIER and Begayan. Diablo II. Spent too much time in middle school and high school on that one. Still remembering finding my first Stone of Jordan. Half-Life 2. Of course. I think what people forget these days, or weren't around to witness, is just what a staggeringly large leap forwards Hectoliters 2 was. A lot of what it did is standard these days, but at the time it was utterly breathtaking. Morrowind. God, this is the only TES game that needs a remake. People who grew up too late for it get bored because of the punishing character creation and slow start to the story. But when you get past the guy who cloned himself as a woman however many times for unmentionable reasons, the story gets so immersive, even for a casual player. Even though, I doubt a remake could make it both accessible to more players while preserving the immersion the original game had. Also, Fortify Intelligence is OP. Need for Speed Underground 2. Open world and a great soundtrack makes for some real core memories here. Silent Hill 2. Hyped for the remake? Dead Space. Man, I can't wait until Callisto Protocol. Anyone remember Deus Ex? Unatco HQ theme intensifies. Zelda, A Link to the Past. I remember getting the third pendant and running off to face Ganon. After I thought I had beat him, I then get transported to the dark world, and the game completely changes on me. I ran around the house trying to find my mom to explain to her what just happened, because I legit thought I was about to beat the game. Perfect game. GTA San Andreas. There's so much in this game. So many layers. So many fun missions and fun side missions and fun activities to complete. Also, there's so much to explore and so many opportunities to just goof off and cause mayhem. GTA 3 really brought open world gaming to the forefront, but San Andreas took everything to the next level. I could understand a few minor nitpicks. The graphics weren't the best for their time, there were some sound effects glitches or delays, and the controls could be a bit imprecise. So I could see how some people might say it wouldn't be a 100/100 game. For me, I'd still give it an A+ even if it isn't a perfect 100. Hades. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and AMP 2. Tetris. Change my mind. Which version is your favorite? Halo 3. One of the only shooters where I grinded both multiplayer and campaign and even Forge. Also Xbox Live chat was hilarious. Knights of the Old Republic. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes and my first awards ever. It is indeed 100/100, but Karth doesn't want to talk about that. Mass Effect 2. The suicide mission always gives me anxiety, even though I've played through it 7 times and know what to do to let everyone live 11/10. Super Mario 64. Game was a revolution, and is still fun today. Growing up we made it to 119 stars, never did find that last one. I've still got the 64, need to set it up and get back into it. Super Mario, Super Smash Bros, and GoldenEye is what me and my brothers lived off growing up. Minecraft. 64/64. Shadow of the Colossus on PS2. I need that game back in my life. Edit. Thank you for the award. Psst. They made a genuinely good remaster for PS4 and probably PS5. I never played the game myself, but I saw Betafy playing and enjoying it a while back. Outer Wilds. Still not over the fact that I've finished it in the DLC and never get to experience it for the first time ever again. Kerbal Space Program. KSP has taught me more about astrophysics than my college professor ever will. Stardew Valley. For the work of one guy initially and the amount of content updated for free, this is my pick. I have it on all my devices and play frequently, truly an escapism game. Portal 2, isn't that obvious?